The family truth revealed. Robert called the realtor at 9 in the morning. I listened from the kitchen. While he stood in the living room. Phone pressed to his ear. Discussing our house like it was just another transaction. Square footage. Condition. Recent updates. Comparable sales in the neighborhood. He was calm. Professional. Like he was talking about someone else's house. Not the place where we'd raised our children. Not the rooms filled with 40 years of memories. Just a property. An asset to be liquidated. Yes, we're motivated sellers, he said. We'd like to list as soon as possible. Tomorrow works. 10 a.m. Thank you. He hung up. Stood there for a moment. Staring at nothing. It's done, he said. I nodded. Didn't trust myself to speak. I'm going to the garage, he said. Start sorting. We'll need to clear out a lot before we can show it. He left. And I sat at the kitchen table. Alone. Wondering how we'd gotten here. Have you ever had to sell a family home? Not because you wanted to. But because you had no other choice? An hour later, I found Robert in the garage. He'd pulled everything out. Tools. Paint cans. Christmas decorations. Boxes we never threw away. 40 years of accumulation. Spread across the driveway. He was sitting on an overturned bucket. Holding something in his hands. It was Logan's old baseball glove. The one Ethan had used as a boy. Then passed down to his son. Found this in the back, Robert said quietly. Remember when Ethan made Little League? I remember. He was so proud. Wore this glove everywhere, even to bed the first week. The leather was cracked. The laces frayed. He's 38 now. Divorced. Broke. Can barely see his own kid. Robert's voice broke. Where did we go wrong? We didn't go wrong, I said softly. Life happened. We should have saved more. Started earlier. Made better choices. With what money, Robert? We paid for this house. We raised 2 kids. We sent them to college. We dealt with emergencies. There was never extra money. Other people managed. Other people had higher salaries. Or smaller families. Or rich parents who helped. Or they got lucky with timing. Or 100 other variables we didn't have. I took the glove from his hands. We did the best we could with what we had. That has to be enough. It's not enough, he said. Look where we are. We're alive. We're together. Our kids are struggling but they're trying. That's more than a lot of families have. I took his hand. Tomorrow the realtor comes. She'll tell us what the house is worth. We'll list it. It'll sell. We'll move somewhere smaller. And we'll survive. Will we? Yes, I said firmly. Because we don't have a choice. That afternoon, the phone rang. Mrs. Hayes? This is Susan Rodriguez from Mercy Hospital Billing. My stomach dropped. She said the account was 60 days past due. The last 2 payments bounced. Insufficient funds. How much do we owe? I whispered. $31,400. With fees and penalties. The number echoed in my head. We'd been paying faithfully. $500 a month. And the balance still grew. Robert knew. Robert had been hiding this. Have you ever opened a bill? And realized the payments you'd been making weren't even enough to keep the balance from growing? When he came in from the garage, I was sitting at the table. The hospital bill in front of me. They called, I said calmly. Too calmly. 60 days past due. Payments bounced. We owe $31,400. I was going to tell you. When they sent it to collections. When they sued us. I didn't want you to worry. Don't you dare. We've been married 40 years. We face things together. You don't get to hide this. I thought I could fix it. How? I shouted. We barely buy food. How were you going to fix it? He slumped against the doorway. I don't know. I pressed. What else? He looked down. Shame on his face. The credit card, he said. $4,800. My chest tightened. Groceries. Gas. Car repairs. I even sent Ethan $1,000. For Logan's hospital bill. You sent Ethan money we don't have? He's my son. You were supposed to tell me. He whispered. The minimum payment is $95. I've been paying it. We don't have $95 to spare. I know. I grabbed pen and paper. Tell me everything. Medical debt. $31,400. Credit card. $4,800. Home equity loan. $14,200. Property taxes. $1,700. Car insurance. $640. I totaled it. $52,740. On a fixed income of $4,200 a month. I whispered. We're drowning. I know, Robert said. Have you ever made a list of every debt you owe? And realized the total was bigger than your entire future? That evening, Rachel came by. Still in scrubs. She saw our faces. What happened? I handed her the list. $52,000? She gasped. Dad, you've been hiding this? She pulled out her phone. Ethan needs to know. I'm calling him. Ethan arrived 40 minutes later. He read the list. Rubbed his face. Jesus Christ. You're $1,100 short every month. Even before food and gas. He looked at us. You can't do this. Even with the house sale. The numbers don't work. No one argued. Because he was right. Rachel started writing. Options. 1 bankruptcy. No, Robert said instantly. I won't die a deadbeat. 2 debt consolidation loan. Our credit is ruined, I said. 3 negotiate with the hospital. Offer a settlement. Half, maybe. With what cash? Robert asked. The house money? That's supposed to be our emergency fund. This is the emergency, Rachel snapped. 4 cut to the bone. No cable. No extras. Stop helping anyone else. Ethan flinched. 5 move in with one of us. Absolutely not, I said. We won't be a burden. Rachel slammed her pen down. Then those are the options. Pick one. Robert stood abruptly. Walked into the yard. Through the window we watched him. Hands in his pockets. Staring at nothing. He's ashamed, Rachel whispered. I know. She looked at me. Mom, what happens if Dad needs long-term care? Nursing homes cost $8,000 to $10,000 a month. Home aids $4,000 to $6,000. Medicare doesn't cover it. I shook my head. We'll deal with it if it happens. You can't deal with it. Medicaid has a 5-year look-back. If you sell the house now, you could be disqualified later. You're trapped. Her words hung in the air. This is what the system does to seniors. It traps them. If you're listening right now, does this feel like a trap you've seen in your own family? When Robert came back inside, his eyes were red. I'm sorry, he said. I'm sorry I hid the debt. I'm sorry I made this worse. I'm sorry I failed you. You didn't fail me. Yes, I did. We should be comfortable. Traveling. Seeing the grandkids. Instead, we're figuring out which version of broke we want to be. He turned to Rachel and Ethan. You should be focused on your lives. Not giving us money you don't have. Dad, we're family, Ethan started. Family shouldn't be like this, Robert said. Tomorrow the realtor comes. We'll list the house. Use the money to settle the debts. And stop being a burden. He walked toward the bedroom. Stopped at the door. Thank you for trying to help. But this is our mess. We'll fix it. And he was gone, leaving us in silence. That night, after Rachel and Ethan left, I sat alone at the table. The debt list in front of me. $52,740. A lifetime of work. And this is what we had to show for it. Debt. Tomorrow, the realtor would walk through our home. Assess its value with a clipboard and a camera. This house where Rachel took her first steps. Where Ethan rode his first bike. Where we thought we'd grow old together. Now, just an asset, to be sold, so we could pay off debt. And maybe survive a few more years. But there was something Robert didn't know yet. Something the realtor would reveal tomorrow. Something that would make all of this even worse. Have you ever discovered hidden debt from someone you trust? Drop a comment. If this feels too close to home, share your story in the comments. Someone else listening tonight might need to hear it. Jennifer Chen arrived right on time. Mid-40s. Professional. iPad in hand. Her heels clicked on the walkway. Sharp. Decisive. Mr. and Mrs. Hayes, thank you for having me. We shook hands. Firm. Confident. For her, this was just another listing. For us, it was the end of everything we had built. She walked through the house with precision. Original hardwood. Good. But the light fixtures are dated. Laminate countertops. Buyers prefer granite. 80s tile. Fixtures outdated. 40 years of memories. Reduced to square footage and finish quality. The handprints in the basement wall. The door frame where Ethan measured his height. None of it mattered now. At the kitchen table, Jennifer opened her iPad. Comparable homes. 185 to 230. But in your condition, I recommend 199. Robert's face fell. But we were assessed at 220. Assessments don't equal market value. She said flatly. I did the math. List at 199. Minus commission. Minus closing costs. Minus the loan. What looked like a gain. Barely broke even after 40 years. The cruel math no one tells you. Sometimes your life's work adds up to almost nothing. Jennifer warned us. The neighborhood is transitioning. 3 foreclosures. 2 short sales. A closed factory. She showed us a map. Red dots everywhere. Our street looked sick. So we're listing when the market's already down. Robert said, yes. You may see offers in the 170 range. Would you wait for the market to rebound? Or sell before it fell further? After she left, we sat at that kitchen table. 135,000. Robert whispered. If we're lucky, we could wait. For what? Another year. We're already drowning. He was right. Time is a luxury poor people can't afford. That night, Robert whispered in the dark. I'm tired, Linda. So tired. I held his hand. Felt every callus from 40 years of work. You did everything right. I said softly. The system failed us. Not you. The next day, Rachel called. Mom, that's only $96,000 after debts. I know. That's maybe 8 years. If you're careful. Then what? Her voice broke. At the hospital, I see what happens when the money runs out. 3 days later, we signed the listing papers. A photographer came. The listing went live. Charming 3-bedroom ranch. Priced to sell. Updates needed throughout. We knew what that meant. 3 weeks passed. 9 showings. No offers we could accept. We were running out of time. Rachel and Ethan came to help us pack. Each item was a small heartbreak. Robert held his old fire captain uniform. His eyes were wet. I was 30 when I first wore this. I thought I'd wear it forever. Rachel touched his arm. You saved lives, Dad. That doesn't disappear. Ethan found his Little League trophies. Can't believe you kept these. Of course we did. You worked hard for those. It mattered to you, so it mattered to us. Rachel found photo albums. Disney World, 1993. We looked so young. I remember this trip. We drove 16 hours, ate peanut butter sandwiches for lunch. Mom, you ate peanut butter at Disney World. I never realized how broke we were. And she was right. We'd always been broke. We just got very good at hiding it. Thanksgiving came. The for sale sign still in the yard. Boxes in the basement. We cooked turkey. Tried to laugh. But the air was heavy. Logan ran around the yard. Carefree. Grandma, can I have the wishbone? I gave it to him. What did you wish for? Can't tell or it won't come true. And I silently wished I could give him a future, where families didn't have to sell their homes just to survive. 2 days after Thanksgiving, Jennifer called. I have an offer. $168. Cash buyer. 30-day close. Robert nodded. We took it. Net after deductions. $140. 40 years of our lives. Reduced to a number. Rachel's voice was quiet on the phone. That's good, Mom. But her voice was heavy. New Year's in a new place. A new start. It doesn't feel like a new start. I said. It feels like the end. December 28th. Closing day. We signed papers. The buyers sat across from us. Young couple. She was pregnant. They were smiling, excited, talking about paint colors. Which room would be the nursery? This house we were being forced to sell was their dream home, their beginning, our ending. At 10:43, the title officer handed us a check. $140,360. We walked to our car, got in, and Robert started crying. Actually crying. Robert, who never cried. 40 years. He said through tears. We built that house for 40 years. And now it's gone. We sat in that parking lot. 2 old people crying over a check that represented everything we'd lost. The apartment was 800 square feet. Beige carpet. Single window. Kitchen barely big enough for 2 people. Walls so thin we could hear our neighbor's TV. This is it, Robert said. This is it. I repeated. Moving day came. Ethan's truck. A rented U-Haul. Everything that didn't fit. Sold. Donated. Thrown away. 40 years reduced to 800 square feet. Rachel and Ethan left. We sat in our new living room. Boxes everywhere. I hate this, Robert said quietly. Me too. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing. You worked 40 years. You did everything right. The system failed us. New Year's Eve came. Rachel and Ethan brought pizza. Cheap champagne. Logan played on his iPad. At midnight we watched the ball drop. To 2026. Rachel said. To new beginnings. Ethan added. To surviving. Robert said. We clinked glasses. And I looked around. At Robert. 72. Exhausted. But still here. At Rachel. 40. Overworked. Terrified of her own future. At Ethan. 38. Divorced. Struggling. At Logan. 12. Unaware his grandparents had just lost everything. We'd sold the house. We had $82,000 left. We were living in 800 square feet. We weren't okay, not even close, but we were together, and that had to be enough. This is retirement in America. Work 40 years, save what you can, follow all the rules, and still end up broke. The average couple retires with less than $200,000. But healthcare alone, over $300,000 over a lifetime. Social Security barely covers rent. More than 40% of seniors rely almost entirely on it. 1 in 4 have nothing saved, nothing at all. If you're 30 or 40 right now, are you planning for this? Or just hoping it won't happen to you? June arrived. 6 months in our new life. The money was already disappearing. Our savings dropped to $76,000. Car repairs, medical copays, dental work, unexpected emergencies. Real life eats money faster than you can save it. Rachel has $11,800 in her 401k. She's doing everything right, but at 40, she should have $80,000. She has 12. She's following the same path we did. Terrified she'll end up in the same place. Ethan has $450 in his SEP IRA, contributing $75 monthly. At this rate, maybe $30,000 by retirement. He's already talking about working until his body gives out. Logan still asks why we moved to the small place. We say it's easier to take care of. We don't tell him the truth. That we couldn't afford to stay. That the American dream failed us. Here's the truth no one wants to say. Wages never kept up with housing. College costs 15 times more than 1970. Healthcare quadrupled. And yet we were told, just save more, work harder. Until one day, we couldn't. This isn't personal failure. This is systemic failure. A system that replaced pensions with 401 kiloseconds. Then crashed the market twice. A system that made healthcare so expensive one surgery bankrupts you. A system that stagnated wages while costs exploded. Would you sell your home to buy 5 more years? Would you choose your children's education over your retirement? What would you have done in our shoes? If you're young, start saving immediately. Even $50 monthly matters. Invest in low-cost index funds. Don't trust pensions will exist. Don't trust Social Security alone. Live below your means. The system will not save you. If you're older, you are not alone. Millions are living this story. It is not your fault. You did everything right. The system broke its promises. Not you. For everyone. This is bigger than individual choices. We need systemic change. Policies that protect seniors. Strengthen Social Security. Make healthcare affordable. Create real retirement security. Because hoping it won't happen to you is not a plan. That's just hope. And hope is what we had for 40 years. Look where it got us. But here's what we can do. Tell the truth. Demand change. Fight back. Not for us. It's too late for us. But for Rachel. For Ethan. For Logan. For you. Drop a comment. Share your story. Tell the truth about your finances. Your fears. Because the only way this changes is if we stop pretending everything is fine. It's not fine. And it won't be fine. Until we demand better. Subscribe. Because this isn't entertainment. This is your future. Unless we change it. Together. Because no family should work 40 years. Sacrifice everything. Follow every rule. And still end up broke. That truth must be heard.